What's up, everybody? This is Jason Artiga, and this is Macabro. I just came back from watching The Exorcist Believer. That movie was hot garbage, all right? Directed by David Gordon Green, written by Danny McBride and David Gordon Green and a couple of his friends. And I say friends, the ones he gave jobs to. This movie was like a steaming pile of shit. We all know how David Gordon Green handled the Halloween trilogy a few years ago for Blumhouse. I don't know what Jason Blum's idea was to like get this franchise, because that's what he wants to do. He wants to make a trilogy, and from what I hear, 400 million was forked over for it. And I'm a big fan of The Exorcist 1 and 3. 2 is actually enjoyable in certain scenes. I mean, that's John Borman. He's a great director. But and I didn't care for the prequels because they weren't really good. But all in all, The Exorcist 3 was just lackluster. It was garbage. It had good acting, but it was just not really written well. It was a slow burn, all right? You really didn't see, like, all right, for guys who are veteran writers in Hollywood, you know that the first 9 fucking minutes of the film, you have to hook your audience. It takes like 20 minutes, and it's like the way the story's set up, where Lamar Odom Jr., who is his wife, is on vacation there in Haiti, and her earthquake happens, and she dies, and they basically deliver the child from her dead body. Here's the thing. It was just so lackluster. It was just like, there was no really good directing. I mean, they had the actors to do this. The actors, the whole cast were good. All right? Just bad dialogue, bad direction, lackluster set pieces. I mean, if you compare this to The Exorcist or even The Exorcist 3, I mean, those films are like amazing looking films. And when the gore comes and the death and the kill scenes come, they're far apart and too little, and they do shock you. I'm not going to lie. When the violence comes, it does shock you. But everything else is just, At times, it almost feels like a commercial for like a InterVarsity religious commercial. And other times, it's just like, again, boring. And the thing about this is they had a few great ideas that could have been explored and made into a better film. But I mean, these are Hollywood writers. They make way more money than you, and like they suck. And I'm gonna tell you, there's a lot of writers in Hollywood, about like 80%, that suck at writing. They're just rich kids. They're just fucking rich kids who write for other rich kids. To understand, the writing in this movie is garbage. As a matter of fact, I'll make a fucking challenge right here. I could write a film way better than David Gordon Green and Danny McBride. If they get mad at me or say something, I don't give a fuck. Your writing sucks. And it's funny because like movie prices are expensive now. And some people, we spend like 30, 40 bucks going to movies to see a steaming pile of shit of a great franchise, 1 and 3. And the thing is, it's just like, why do you give David Gordon Green a franchise to direct when he didn't even do anything with like the Halloween franchise? Poorly written, garbage. The first film was promising though, but the second film had great kills, but like really shitty dialogue. Evil Dies Tonight. Well, that was a better movie than The Exorcist Believer. Trust me. The acting was good. The little girls were good. You could see where they picked one of the actresses because she looked like Linda Blair. And Ellen Burstyn was pretty good in this, but underutilized. She's still a great actress. And, it was a cash grab for her. She demanded double the pay, and she, did her thing. But the thing is just like, the shock value of the film, it just doesn't make any sense. Because where the original Exorcist was a slow burn, but interesting, and puts you uncomfortably in certain scenes, like where Reagan is getting a medical procedure that it's really scary, and they puncture they puncture a hole in her jugular vein to test something out. And that scene, that part right there is even scary before you get to the horror scenes in The Exorcist. And then when you get to the horror scenes, they become iconic. And here's another thing. The Exorcist has some iconic shots. They shoot predominantly in a bedroom in the second and third act. And the bedroom in the third act becomes an interesting set piece because you can see their breath. It's cold. The Exorcist 3. The lighting of the padded room with the Gemini killer and George C. Scott, and like the lighting and you know, the whole levitation thing, that was amazing, you know, and that's just predominantly in one room. Where The Exorcist has, like on their third half, a lackluster set, just minimalistic, high key lighting, and no iconic shots. I mean, look at The Exorcist 1, and you see the scene where Father Merrin gets out the cab, and he's like underexposed to a high key lighted house, and that shot was so iconic it became the poster, right? And look at The Exorcist 3. They have a kill scene that you don't even see. It's just implied from one shot to the other, you know, and you don't even see it. And yet it is one of the most scariest shots in horror film history. It's one of the best jump scares ever made. This film has no really good jump scares. It has nothing. It's horrible. The writing is telegraphed. Don't see this film. Seriously saying, don't. You know, I could understand the film was so bad that it was good, like the Exorcist 2, The Heretic, and I don't even consider that film bad. I just consider it like the Alien 3 of the series, you know, its own standalone, because it has great visuals, good soundtrack by Ennio Morricone, but even that film was better than this film, so skip it.